Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to the session. In this session, we'll discuss about phase control rectifiers. So, phase control rectifiers is nothing but a fixed AC is converted into variable DC. So, in this, we are having different types of control rectifier like half control rectifier and fully controlled rectifiers. We'll start with the single phase half controlled rectifier with R load. So, the single phase half control rectifier circuit diagrams look like. So this is the thyristor so this is nothing but the thyristor switch and which is connected in parallel with the resistive load, and supply is given from the secondary of the transformer. So the maximum voltage will be taken from this supply is nothing but Vs, that is Vm sin omega t. So to this circuit. So what is the importance of this single phase half wave control rectifier is nothing but any half of the cycle can be controlled. That means like so if it is a input sine wave, so the sine wave can be controlled from 0 to 180 degrees in this period of time by varying the firing angle. So that means, so by varying the alpha value, so alpha is nothing but firing angle here. By varying the firing angle from 0 to pi, it can be controlled. So for that what we are doing, so we are operating with the thyristor switch. So in this we can see like the circuit as in figure 1a is energized by the line voltage, or you can say a transformer secondary current. So from the transformer secondary current we are taking the maximum Vmax, or you can say Vm sin omega t. So it is assumed that the peak voltage never exceeds the supply voltage. Supply peak voltage never exceeds the forward and reverse blocking rates of the thyristors. So whatever the thyristors which used in the half wave controlled rectifier having some limitations, so we have to follow the limitations not exceeding all voltage, supply voltage in forward and reverse bias. So therefore the thyristor can be triggered at any angle alpha, at an angle of alpha. So thyristor T is triggered. Then during the positive half cycle, so during the positive half cycle the output voltage can be controlled in the at the load. So then thyristor blocks during the negative half cycle, because so whenever negative half cycle comes into picture, the reverse voltage applied to the thyristor, then it will be switched off automatically by line commutation. So the thyristor is turned off by line commutation. So for analyzing this single phase half wave rectifier, we have to take the output waveforms of these single phase half wave control rectifiers. So let us think about so this is the this is the input sinusoidal waveform from the supply, that is Vs Vm sin omega t. So from this you can observe this one. Then the gate current is given here, Ig can be given, that is triggering pulse given to the first half cycle. That means triggering pulse is given to the thyristor at an angle of alpha. So then thyristor starts conducting at the value of alpha. So therefore during the positive half cycle this one is high potential than this one. So therefore current starts flow through the thyristor and flows in the circuits. Therefore we'll get the V0 output voltage across the load. So from 0 to alpha there is a possibility of controlling the output voltage. Therefore, so whatever the alpha is given to the thyristor, so that that amount of voltage can be controlled. So therefore you can observe here in this waveform V0 is controlled. So that means alpha is not equal to 0. That means alpha started with some angle of 30 degrees. So therefore the voltage of the sinusoidal will be controlled from 30 to 180 degrees. That means here it is 180 degrees. So voltage can be controlled from 30 to 180 degrees. So that portion of the voltage can be obtained from the circuit at the load point. So in this way we can control the voltage, sinusoidal voltage, and will get the unidirectional DC. But the thing is, during the negative half cycle, this one is more positive than this one. Therefore current has to flow in the reverse direction, but this thyristor will never allow the reverse current. Therefore due to the line commutation, so the thyristor gets into turn off. So therefore from 180 to, that means pi to 2 pi. So from the pi to 2 pi there is no conduction of the thyristor, therefore will not get any output voltage or current at this point. At the same time we can see here the current I naught also. So I naught is follows the same V naught with some magnitude of current that depends on the load resistance. So this amount of current I naught depends on the load resistance value. So we will get the, from alpha to pi we will get the current, then there is a discontinuity here because of reverse supply. So thyristor is in off, that means T off condition. Then again it will start, reaches to 2 pi, then afterwards it will be continued, that means 2 pi plus alpha, again it will start conducting. So this is the way of conducting the thyristor during the positive half cycle, and during the negative half cycle it will be in the off state. So in this case we are going to analyze the waveform, that is voltage across the thyristors. So whenever thyristor is turned on at an angle of alpha is 30 degrees, let us consider. So from 0 to 30 degrees we will get some drop across the switches, then voltage appears across the switch. Then after that, only because during the on condition only drop voltage, that means let us assume that 1 volt will be the dropping voltage during the on condition, and in the reverse voltage we will get the maximum reverse voltage because it is in off state, that means it's a open circuit voltage condition will be appearing at this point. So similarly again from 2 pi plus alpha to again continuation, it will be having the same scenario during this on condition of the thyristors. So in this way we are going to analyze the thyristor concept apart from the controlled and uncontrolled. So the thing is, there are two things we can talk about, like uncontrolled switches, uncontrolled and controlled switches. So whenever the same circuit is designed with the diode, then it will become the uncontrolled circuit. Then whenever the circuit is designed by the thyristor, it will be a controlled circuit. So therefore whenever we require the controlled output DC from the AC supply, then we will go with the single phase AC controlled rectifier, that is we are talking about half wave controlled rectifier, because only half of the cycle, we are not going to control the full cycle, we are going to control the half of the cycle, that means 0 to pi. So this is the half wave controlled rectifier with R load. So we are taking only a resistive load analysis in this circuit. So here we can see the same thing, like during the positive half cycle, just a minute. So we can see here during the positive half cycle of the supply voltage, so the thyristor anode is more positive than the cathode. So therefore it is in forward bias, but not in the forward conduction. So until the thyristor is triggered by a proper gate pulse. So during this condition, thyristor is in forward blocking state only. Then whenever the gate trigger by a proper gate pulse, then it will becomes into forward conduction. So forward direction mean you can say forward conduction. So in this case it will be a forward conduction. So here it is a forward blocking because of this thyristor nature. So even though there is a positive, anode is positive with respect to cathode, because of the gate terminal it will be giving a forward blocking. Then once the gate pulse is given to the circuit, then it will be a forward conduction. So when the thyristor is fired at an angle of alpha, full supply voltage, so we are just ignore the thyristor voltage drop. So consider the full supply voltage, then we can directly connect it to the load. Therefore, so whatever the supply voltage is given to the circuit is directly appears across the load. So for the pure resistive load, so the current waveforms and the current waveform after the thyristor is triggered, gets triggered, will be identical. The same pattern will be followed with respect to the voltage. That means maybe the magnitude of the current is somewhat different or less, but it will in phase with the voltage because of the pure resistive load in the circuits. So that's what the magnitude dependent on the amplitude of the applied voltage and the load resistance. So the amount of current appears in the output waveform of the circuit. It depends on the magnitude of applied voltage and the value of the load resistance. So at zero crossing, so whatever we discussed in the circuit diagram, that is nothing but at zero crossing. So that means 0 to 180 degrees. After then we will get the zero crossing. Then the thyristor is turned off by natural commutation. Commutation is nothing but the process of turn off of the thyristor by various methods. But in this case, the natural commutation is occurring because of the natural zero in the sinusoidal waveform. So therefore, the thyristor gets into turn off. So this is the way in that during the negative off cycle. So then we have to calculate the amount of average load voltage appearing across the resistive load. So then that will be calculated by using the VDC, or you can say V naught. So here the full cycle time period is considered 2 pi. It's a full cycle, but calculation part of the output voltage, average load voltage, can be calculated for Vm sin omega t. So we can take the Vm sin omega t. This one is 0. That means because the secondary from pi to 2 pi there is no conduction of the thyristor, so we will get the completely 0. So therefore we will get only 0 to pi. So with integration of this sin omega t, so we will get the cos omega t. Therefore Vm sin omega t. So apply the limits alpha pi. So therefore, so minus cos omega t. That means you can write here. So 1 by 2 pi minus Vm cos pi minus plus cos alpha. So this is like this, we can say Vm by pi minus cos pi means you can write minus 1, you can write. So it will be plus 1, it will be then cos alpha. So you will get the Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha in the average output voltage. So then again it is observed that the load voltage varies with the firing angle alpha, having the extremes values of alpha is equal to 0 and alpha is equal to pi. That means at alpha is equal to 0 maximum voltage can be applied across the load, but at alpha is equal to pi, so you will get the 0 value because complete maximum voltage will be controlled at the 180 degrees. So therefore we can obtain that at alpha is equal 0, we will get the maximum V naught, that means VDC. So because cos alpha you can use here, so Vm by pi, Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos 0, so you will get the Vm by 2 pi into 2, so you will get the only Vm by pi. So that means at cos alpha, that means alpha is equal to 0, you will get the Vm by pi in the output, the maximum voltage. Similarly you can find the load, we can find the load current, that means whatever the voltage available at the our load divided by the resistance value, so we will get the same equation for the IDC, that means VDC by R. So this is about calculation of average voltage and current in the half wave controlled rectifier. So similarly you can have this calculating the RMS value of the load voltage. So square root of all the sinusoidal signals. So the similar, whatever we have taken the sinusoidal waveform equation from 0 to 2 pi, so you can use the square root of this one, so you can get the average RMS value of the circuit. So here square root of total Vm sin omega t. So square root of, you can write the Vm sin omega t in terms of 1 minus cos 2 omega by 2. So we can integrate 1 by 2 and cos 2 omega 2 can be written as sin 2 omega 2 by 4. So you can take the 2 outside, so you will get the V max, that means Vm 2 root pi minus alpha minus, that means you can 1 by 2 sin 2 alpha. So here you can write finally Vm 2 root pi minus alpha with the limits, then 1 by 2 sin 2 alpha. This is the final equation for RMS voltage. That means we are just taking the square root of the total waveform from 0 to 2 pi, then we are making the simplification with the sinusoidal waveform, that is sin square can be written as 1 minus cos 2 omega 2 by 2. So then integrating these two terms, we will get the final value of the RMS voltage. So here you can see the same thing again apply maximum maximum voltage at an angle alpha is equal to 0. You will get the same RMS also, the same way apply the alpha value, alpha is 0. In the previous equation we will get the Vrms is nothing but Vm by 2. So similarly we can write the RMS value of the current, that is I load, IL RMS, I load. So current through the load, in the RMS we can write that V RMS divided by R. So the total equation can be taken as it is, then divided by R, you will get the RMS. And the output, average output power can be given by multiplying the VDC, that means V0 and I0, or you can say VDC and IDC, because I0 and V0 both are in the DC state. So the DC components, therefore we can write VDC and IDC, that is equal to, so Vm by 2 pi 1 plus cos alpha into Vm 2 pi r 1 plus cos alpha. So we can get the PDC like this. So this is the output DC power from the single phase half controlled rectifier circuit. So next, RMS voltage, in a similar way we can write the RMS voltage, that is RMS voltage similar to this PL load, power at the load in terms of RMS value. So VRMS into IRMS, that means VL load voltage and load current. So then we can get the multiplication of these two, V load voltage and VI load voltage in terms of RMS, we will get the PRMS. So power available at the load, power component available at the load can be taken in this way. So this is about calculating the power output at the load. So then we'll move on to the next step, that is rectification efficiency. So what is the amount of energy can be converted from AC to DC? So that is can be defined by the rectification efficiency. So that can be defined as the ratio of average output power PDC and to the output AC power. So that means PDC by PRMS can be taken for the rectification efficiency. That means amount of AC can be converted into DC. So therefore, so we have calculated already PDC and PRMS by using these two components. So we'll get the so efficiency, rectification efficiency in this circuit diagram. So this is about finding the efficiency in the rectifier or control rectifier circuit by taking the PDC by PRMS. So finally we can find the value of transformer utilization factor, that is TUF. For every controlled circuits we used to calculate the transformer utilization factor. So that is defined by the ratio of average power output PDC and the volt ampere rating of the transformer. So generally transformer volt ampere ratings can be taken in terms of RMS values only. So therefore, so for getting these two values of VRMS and IRMS, we'll get the VA rating of the transformer. Therefore we'll get the PDC by VRMS into IRMS can be taken for the TUF. Okay. So transformer utilization factor can be obtained like this. So then, so for operating this circuit, then what is the significance or what is the outcome can be taken from the circuit diagram? So here we can say one statement: the output of a rectifier is not pure sinusoidal waveform. So because it's a discontinuity of thyristor conduction because of the positive half cycle and negative half cycle, and it will not allow the reverse voltage or currents. So therefore, so we will not get the complete pure sinusoid, pure DC, that is unidirectional DC to the complete period of time. So therefore, it is not a pure sinusoidal, and it contains the harmonics present in the output which are responsible for generating heat in the load. So because of the harmonics component, some kind of heat generation happens in the resistive load. So that's what conclusion with this rectifiers, single phase half wave controlled rectifiers. So we'll move on to the first one again. So this is about representation of the circuit for a half wave controlled rectifier with R load and the corresponding voltage and gate pulses, output voltage and output current, voltage drops across the thyristors can be represented so with these waveforms. So this is finally you can say that by seeing this or by analyzing this one, we can say that this is a single quadrant controlled converter in the applications. Thank you.